Hi, I'm Lee from Louleigh.com and this is my podcast about my handmade life. I'm on Instagram as Louleigh_ and on Ravelry as Louleigh, and I sell knitting needle cases and notions cases at Shop Louleigh on Etsy. It's really nice to be sitting and having a chat with you this morning. It's Friday morning and this weekend is a bank holiday weekend, so I'm going away on a little holiday. But it's been a while since I had a little chat with you, and so I just wanted to pop in and say hi and talk about a few things before I head off and enjoy the bank holiday. I'm going to see my godkids and taking the dogs. The hairy man is offshore, so he went offshore yesterday, so he's not coming. But anyway, we should have a great weekend. And I have a special project planned for them if it's raining or we can't get outside, so that should be lots and lots of fun. But yeah, I wanted to come and share some time with you before I went away. So this is community news. We have the Advent mini skein swap running along in the Louleigh Ravelry group. Because some of us are building up enough mini skeins for our advent calendars. Some people are sharing them and using it as a way of supplementing other advent calendars, and I've lost track of what I was saying because this has decided to watch for cats out the window. Yeah. And some people are just using them to add to their scrappy blanket projects or whatever. So pop over to the Ravelry group if you want to swap some mini skeins and join in with us, and just see what the requirements are and sign up. I will close it on at the end of June and then pair everybody up for the swap. So yeah, that would be really cool if you come and join us. The other thing that's going on in the Louleigh community is the, here we go, the stash depreciating shawl along. This month there's been a little bit of chat over in the group about knitting multicoloured shawls from stash, or just larger shawl projects. And so I thought it would be fun to have, I've had a couple of needle adjacent shawl projects just loitering around, so I thought it would be fun to start a knit along for that over the summer, because it's fun to knit shawls in the summer, isn't it? It's fun to knit shawls at any time, but anyway, yeah, so that is going to run until the end of August. I've decided to make it really long because every time I go and look into my stash I find more yarn that I intended to make a shawl with. So yeah, in my mind I'm sort of thinking, oh, can I do one a month? And that probably isn't going to happen, but hopefully I'll get a few started, or I have 3 shawl whips in progress right now. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make a little bit of a dent in those. And the neighbour is having some help with his garden today. So despite the fact that it has rained last night, they've decided to mow the lawn and use a few power tools. So I might take a little break and then come back and tell you about the shawls that I'm knitting for the knit along. And I might put this fellow down because you're in the way. You need to go and pack your lead for your holiday. You're going on holiday, boy. So the first shawl that I'm knitting for the Stash Depreciating Shawl Along is the Jodie shawl by Hohi Locatelli, and it is a 3-colour shawl. So I am using as my first colour, these yarns have been loitering around on my desk all wound up for a while because they had somehow managed to sit together in my stash. I think yarns that go together tend to do that sometimes, they sort of flock together in your stash. So the first one is a gift that I got, and it's an Eden Cottage yarn. I was given this for Christmas, yeah, and it is the Soft Sock Fingering, and it's Superwash Merino nylon. It's very smooth yarn. I had thought that it had, before I read the tag now, I had thought that it had a little bit of silk in it, but it's a smooth high twist yarn, so intended to be a sock yarn and not too much halo. The next one that I've got, and I've just added this one in, is, do I have the tag in here for this? This was another gift yarn that I swapped with Molly from a homespun house. I think off the top of my head it's called Heart Shaped Box, but without actually finding the label, I'm not completely sure. It has really nice pops of purple and kind of a lime yellowy green, snot green maybe. So those little pops in it, and those are the two yarns that I've started off with. They're not very high contrast, but I think if I hold it back here and hold it still, you might be able to see where that started to sort of blend together. Yeah, so they're quite close in colour. The second yarn kind of has a grey purpley undertone that I think works quite well with the first one. I didn't want it to be sort of high contrast. I wanted the colours just sort of to merge together. I'm avoiding the F word. You know the one I mean. And trying to use greater vocabulary. I wanted an ombre effect. So yeah, it's not, the stripes aren't high contrast, but I really like the way that those two yarns have blended together. And the last yarn that I'm going to put in with that, my balls are really messy, is one that I actually purchased. I was tossing up whether to use another one that I had been given as a gift as well, but I think this one just fits in really well. They're all kind of, well, these ones are kind of speckly yarns on a solid colour, and I think that works really well. This last one is Hedgehog Fibres. I think it's their sock yarn as well. So they're ones that don't have a lot of halo, but this last one has similar coloured speckles to the second one, Hedgehog Fibres. Sort of, yeah, has a similar colour theme with the snot green and the pink and a bit of turquoise tealy colour, and it's got some ginger in it as well, which is really pretty. So yeah, but it will give more contrast and more of a striping effect when I come to that lacy section at the edge. This shawl is super beginner friendly. If you have only just picked up your knitting sticks and are starting knitting for the very first time, I haven't got onto the lace bit, but I reckon you could have a good go at this. You might need some help with the garter tab right at the very beginning, but otherwise it's really straightforward, and actually striping in the different yarns is super fun. So yeah, really simple knitting, and just relaxing. So that's the first one that I've been working on. And I have it in, oh, this was another gift. I have it in my Eldenwood craft bag. Emma had asked me if, well, I'm not sure if I asked her if she wanted to swap for one of my notions cases. And she sent me one of her little house in the forest bags, and I really love it. Whenever whenever you get a print that has a house in the forest, you totally want to go and hide there and do your knitting, don't you? Just escape from the world. Yeah, walk into your knitting bag and escape. So yeah, that is the Jodie shawl. So the next shawl that I want to do for this project is one that's a little bit more complicated. I started it in December, I think, as kind of like remedial Christmas knitting. And I have it in another gift bag. This one came from Jules of So Sweet Violet. Yeah, I love this bag. I love the colours and the fabrics that she's used. It's really pretty. And I keep it out to look at as well. It's quite a special bag, I think. Really well made. So this episode is all about the gifted bags. So I have in here my Sizzle Pop, which I'm making from stashed yarn as well. This is a shawl that I have wanted to make since Candace from the Pin Feathers and Pearls flashed her Sizzle Pop up on her podcast, and yeah, I've been really itching to get it on my knitting sticks, but I haven't done any work on this since probably about January. Yeah, and so I just need to have a little quiet time to myself to get back into all those funny, the weird brioche terminology. Once you get the hang of it, then you're away laughing. But yeah, I just need a little bit of quiet time to get my head back into that. So I am using for that one a yarn that I've had in my stash for a really long time. I got it from Loop in London, and it is, I think it's a Freya fine hand paints. I think it's more of a lace weight yarn, but it's a woolly lace weight, and I had been really attracted to the orange bit and this melon colour in the middle of this. I just thought that was so nice, and then of course it goes into the fawn and the brown, which is just really pretty. And I had no idea that deep down in the very middle was this really bright pink. And I'm not usually a pink person, so but I'm really excited because it's just starting to change into the orange bit, and I think the fade behind this natural yarn will look really nice. So I am using for the natural colour Jamieson and Smith Shetland Supreme Jumper Weight. So it's a nice woolly yarn, really nice to work with. Yeah, so when I get a minute I shall get going on that one again. I think it's a good one to work on when the hairy man is offshore and, you know, I've got the evenings to myself and I can concentrate. Let me pop this back. I keep the chart and the pattern in this Knit Pro magnetic foldery thing. It's super ugly, but it does a good job. This is the A5 version, and so it has this magnetic section. Oops, I shouldn't be showing off the chart most probably. It has a magnetic section there and a little row keeper, and then you can pop the strap on so that it stands up. Hello. And actually we have rolled arms on our couch, and that sits over the arm quite nicely. So yeah, and it's really easy just to follow along with that. But yeah, really handy, but not terribly pretty, and I find that it doesn't fit in many project bags either. But yeah, it is nice to be able to stand a more complicated pattern up there and just follow what's going on. So those are my projects for the Stash Depreciating Shawl Along. Come and join us in the Ravelry group. Whips are totally allowed, so have a rummage round. And as I say, I keep discovering yarn that I've bought to make shawls with, so I could go on for quite a long time with this. I could probably just knit shawls until this time next year, but that's unlikely to happen. So the last things that I have to talk about is just a couple of sewing projects that I've been working on. I think it was in the last episode that I talked about the silk cami that I had made. It's not actually silk, the pattern is called Silk Cami, and it's by Sew Over It. And I have started a second one. I'm a little way along with this. but it's all inside out and pinned at the moment, so probably not terribly exciting to look at. So I'm at the point where I'm going to sew in the facing around the neck, and I'm using a really pretty Liberty Lawn fabric that I got when I was down in London visiting friends last summer. It's so pretty, I love this. I can't wait to wear it. Yeah, and Liberty Lawn is quite wide, so I've managed to get this easily out of a metre of fabric. Yeah, so hopefully I'll just keep ticking along with that. I just need to sew in the facing and then hem it and it'll be all done, so that's really exciting. I have also, if you want to hear more about that pattern, I think I did talk about it in the last episode. I have also been working on Buddy the Bear. I'm looking at him, but I'm waiting for a long doll needle to arrive so that I can do his eyes and other details. So I shall show you Buddy the Bear next time, hopefully. This weekend, as I mentioned, I'm going to visit my godchildren who are on the cusp of being teenagers. Which is quite exciting. They get more fun as they get older, I think. And my goddaughter has been really interested in sewing, and the last time I went down I did her sewing driver's license with her and made a pencil case with her, and I was a bit bummed because I hadn't realised that once we got going my godson was also quite interested in having a go as well, but I hadn't bought materials for him to make a pencil case as well. So that was a bit of a shame. But they're a great family and they're great at working as a team, and so I thought this time when I go down we are going to make a jelly roll race quilt. And I made one of these a wee while ago, maybe it was last summer. Gosh, is it that long ago? Yeah, and so I thought I would make another one with them. That would be a fun family project. And I think while I'm there, I can set up the sewing machine at the end of the table so that we can be working on it while other things are happening as well. And everybody in the family can have a go at making the quilt too. Yeah, hopefully we'll get the top done and the scrappy back done, and then I'll just have to quilt it and put the binding around, and then I can send it down to them. So I'm not going to take the jelly roll out of the wrapping to show you. It's these lovely neutrals because it's such fun to unwrap a jelly roll, so I want them to have that experience as well and to unfold all of the fabrics. This is a Moda jelly roll and it is called Catnip. Ooh, they're dog people. Never mind. So we're going to use the jelly roll for the front, and then in between each strip we'll put some of these other, a square of these other brightly coloured fabrics, and there's enough here to use for the bias binding and the back as well. So on the front it will be mainly neutral with these pops of other colours. So that will be really fun to do with them. I really hope they enjoy it. I have to pack up all my bits in my sewing machine and get it in the car. So that should be really good fun. So my focus for this week, we'll be working on that quilt over the weekend, so that would be good fun. And I was going to take the Jodie shawl with me, but I have packed up into my bag o' friends, I have packed up a Traster sleeve, and I think that's the only knitting that I'm going to take with me, just so I get it cast on and started. I do have some car knitting. There's always a sock tube in the pocket, like the door pocket of the car, so I can work on that as well. Although we'll do other stuff, so it's unlikely that I'll finish a whole Traster sleeve while I'm down there. But I thought if that's all the knitting that I take, then it's not a big thing or a heavy hot thing to be working on, and that should be really fun. So the quilt, yeah, focus for this week will be the quilt and my tracer sleeve, and probably when I get home, sizzle pop. So that would be really good fun. It has been so nice to come and have just a little wee chat with you before I head off for the weekend. I hope that you have something fun planned for your weekend. If you're enjoying a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, then yeah, I hope you enjoy an extended break. And if you are working this weekend, because a lot of people do, then I really hope that you find some quiet time to have a little craft. And thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed yourself, then please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Pop over to the Ravelry group, that's always fun to meet you there, and I shall see you next time. Cheerio!